Hi, I'm David Thomas, your host for Alliance and Focus. I'm here with Pastor Ed Carter from Marlboro Christian Church. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
So could we start off and talk about your faith journey and how you became a pastor?
Oh, well, I grew up in Minerva, down the road, not too far from here, and grew up in a family that really didn't attend church or anything like that. It wasn't really part of our family or, the way that we grew up. And so had a kid that moved into the community. His name was Andre, and he and I hit it off 4th, 5th grade really well. Really loved sports and athletics, and the church in Minerva, First Christian, had a basketball court, and so started really getting involved in the church through basketball and sports and things like that, and just kind of grew up in that, spiritually grew up in that way, and then went to a church camp and really felt convicted to head into ministry. And I had a friend that was dying of muscular dystrophy. At the same time, life expectancy was about 18 years of age. I went to college to study to be a minister, but he got really sick, moved back home to help take care of him. Got a job with Foot Locker at the malls. They were owned at the time by a company called Vinegar, and started kind of climbing the ranks in that company, and did very well there. But then would spend my summers taking vacation to take kids mountain biking through Blackwater Falls, West Virginia.
Right.
Weeks of camp, and just really felt like God saying, like, I built you to be in ministry and things like that. And so decided to kind of jump back into that stream.
That's cool.
Yeah, so been doing that now. I've been here for 23 years, and so been in ministry for 27. So, but 23 I'm here.
Can you talk about your food pantry and how it came about and how it works? And
we've always had a food pantry since I've been here. Ed Harnish was the senior minister before me, and always had a value on that, feeding and taking care of people in our community. We've always been very, very, very generous in that way. And then when I was doing youth ministry here, before I became the senior minister, there was a young man, Christopher Young, who did his Eagle Scout project and built a big pantry in the building.
Right.
And that was kind of a catalyst for kind of growing it. And so he played a big piece in that. And then as it's kind of went along, we formed relationships with Marlington local schools. And so 3 times a year, we do really big food giveaways for families in need in the Marlington district. Right. And so that's really been a catalyst. And now we've even tied it into where we do food bags for the elementary students in need in the Marlington district. And
That's
so
great.
Just keeps kind of
We used to have that in Alliance, and it stopped.
Oh, they don't have an Alliance anymore.
We called it jet bags.
Yeah. I'm surprised
It's very sad.
Okay. Well, if there's any church leaders in the Alliance community,
Yes.
if you want some advice on how to get that back up and running, give me a call.
Yes. So how does one, like in the community, get food from your pantry?
So what they would do is if they're in need, they would call our offices, and we do kind of keep it regional. Like we help the Alliance community, we help the Marlboro community. We have to keep it kind of regional. If we don't, we'll get a whole bunch from Akron and Canton, and then this community will be underserved.
Have you seen an increase in the need, like economically, for people in this rural area for help with food?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. We have, definitely.
Yeah. What do you attribute it to?
Well, I think it's the cost.
Yeah.
I mean, everything has went up exponentially in cost. Rents went up exponentially, and so your fixed expenses. I mean, I don't know about you, but like our electric bill has went up by like 40% last year.
Mine doubled.
Yeah. So when you kind of see all that happening, it's not just happening for you and I. It's happening for people on fixed income and things like that. We have some senior citizens in our community that we help every month. Like we just know, like there's just not enough money coming in. They're not out wasting their money.
Yeah.
They're paying their bills. They're doing what they can. They're buying their prescriptions. At the end of the day, they have to make a decision. Yeah. And so we hopefully can step in and be like, you know what, let's let you get your medicine and your food.
Yeah.
So
that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Can we talk about faith and why is it important to serve the poor?
Well, I think that the heart of Jesus is for the poor, the underserved, and the privileged. And so if you negate the poor, we were just having a conversation yesterday in the office about James, the brother of Jesus, talks in his book about like favoritism. And he uses the illustration of treating the rich one way and the poor a different way.
I love James, and I think it's because he's just very blunt and to the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you look at that and you see that, you just understand that the poor are close to the heart of God. Yeah. And we are given a responsibility to help. Yeah. That doesn't mean that we're given the responsibility to be taken advantage of, though.
That's correct.
There's a level of accountability and things that we are to kind of institute. I love it. Like in the Old Testament, basically they would, the Jewish community would leave the outer ring of the fields, so the poor could come in and get their food, but they didn't deliver it to their homes, unless probably they needed it delivered. But they made it available, and so give them some dignity to be able to come and work the field and take their food with them. So, yeah.
Final question: can you talk about your church and any programs you have, including VBS coming up? That you would like to invite people to, and how do they find you and get a hold of you guys, and when are your services?
Okay, so Marlboro Christian Church, you can go to marlborochristian.com, get a lot of information right off of our website. We've got Vacation Bible School that starts on Monday coming up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the theme?
It is an adventure theme.
Yeah.
And so if you go to our Facebook page, I just dressed up as a night yesterday and shot a commercial for it. Yeah. And so it's all about adventure and kids. I think we have 100 kids already registered. So they're doing a great job with it. And so we have Vacation Bible School next week. They've been doing a midweek program all summer. So I think there's one of those left. It's all like a water day. And then on Sunday mornings, we do a breakfast for families at about 8:30. And then our first service is at 9. And then we have a second service at 10:30. Then you can watch us online on our website or Facebook and YouTube. We stream everything out. We have about 200 people that attend online.
Wow.
So
that's great.
It's a different world today than it was 10 years ago. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Let me know you. And our next guest is Marta Miranda, who served as a missionary in San Francisco. And she is an intern at Marlboro Christian Church. And we're going to talk about everything she saw and learned. And here she is, Marta Miranda. She's an intern at Marlboro Christian Church. She's going to school to be a teacher. And she just served as a missionary in San Francisco. So first off, can we talk about your faith and who you are as a person of faith, how you became a Christian?
Sure. I've been going to church for as long as I can remember. My mom really implanted that in me and my younger brother from the moment we were born. I grew up going to Sunday school church and vacation Bible schools, Awana Bible Bowl, which was like learning and memorizing scripture and then like testing on it and stuff. So it really just was something that I grew up with my entire life. So I don't know anything different, but I'm glad that I don't know anything different. So yeah, and I chose to go to a Christian college so that I could keep the same like-minded people around me and things. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to become a missionary?
Well, it was always on my like bucket list to go to a mission trip, whether that was in-state, out of country. I just have always wanted to serve people in a different way that I've never really gotten to before. So, and I hope I get to go again to another one too, but this was just the start, I hope, for something.
Where would you like to go, like next?
I'd really like to go over to Spain and see what they're doing over there.
Nice.
Our school works with a lot of organizations over there and Nazarene churches around the world. So I think it'd be really cool to go there, or even like to Guatemala, different things like that.
So you went to San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and what was that like? And what was your sort of mission to do there?
Well, it was Los Angeles
That
we were in.
Okay.
So we were in Los Angeles. I went in, we did a lot of prep work before we went to Los Angeles. We had weekly meetings about a month before we were supposed to go to kind of prepare our hearts and talk about like what it was that we were fearful of or like preconceived notions we might have had of this place that we've never been to before. So that was a really nice time to reflect and think about like the things that I had been thinking of before I actually went and actually got to experience what was happening. So, and it was very different from what I thought because, you know, social media and entertainment tells you Los Angeles and different places are different than they actually are. And so you have to experience it in a different way. And I think going as somebody who is going to serve and not just be like a tourist there also made a difference as well. Because I could see things in a different perspective versus like just being there for a fun vacation.
What was the reality of it?
Well, you would see a lot of people who are suffering maybe on the outside as a tourist who are homeless or struggling to keep their businesses afloat and stuff. But really what we all saw was just a bunch of community people coming together to support one another. Like in times where people are feeling like they don't have anybody and things, they honestly have a really good strength of hope from people around them. And also just like if you say hello to them, like it's just giving them a sense of humanity. So, and they noticed that. And to do that was really special because a lot of people will just walk by them and not say anything. But for us to be out in the open and do something maybe uncomfortable meant the world to them.
Is there a lot of homeless in California?
Yes. So we were in the Peak area, Skid Row. It's like a whole block of area near Los Angeles. And we were walking the streets. There's a police station right in Skid Row area, which was really interesting because they didn't really interact with a lot of them around the area. They're just doing what they're supposed to be doing in Los Angeles. But they have things like blocked off so that people don't like damage property or use the restroom and stuff. But like it was interesting too because there's people who are on the streets. There's tents lined up everywhere because that's where they're living. Obviously you have the smells that are around and things.
Are there places where people are kind of makeshifting housing?
Yes and no. Like there's just different areas, but there's also so many different things on Skid Row for people that they can go to help them. Like we partnered with Pastor Q, and he has a church that he does there, and it's every like Friday night, and they come over and they do like a worship service, and he preaches to them about the gospel, and it's really to anybody because people will be walking by. It's called the Road Church, and it's really cool. And they also have like a marketplace right in Skid Row where people can go in and buy food for like $1.25. Like it's very cheap. They make it that way. And we also stopped and went to a community center that they had just built, which was super duper cool because there was people just in there chilling, listening to music. That's what I really heard throughout the whole streets of Skid Row was just music. Everybody was playing music, which I loved hearing because it wasn't silent. You didn't hear a lot of fighting or anything, but there was just
which is what social media portrays. It's very doom and gloom. But you saw a side where people were actually getting involved and people were loving and taking care of people.
Yes.
Wow.
Very much so. And they had these yellow pit stop areas, and they had one at, we went to MacArthur Park as well, and they also had one on Skid Row, and there's these people who stay around the area 24/7 to help with like medical needs and things that people need. And it takes a special team to do that. So they're very cool.
Right. So what does the future look like for Marta Miranda? What are your goals? You're going to school to be a teacher.
Yes, I am going to school to be a teacher.
What grade do you want to teach?
I'm licensed in pre-K through 5th grade and also intervention specialist, which is really neat. I'm hoping to do 2nd grade, 3rd grade, kind of that area, the middle ground. I think it's really special, and I also really want to be in a public school setting because I think that there's kids out there who need somebody who can love them in a way that they'd maybe not get, and if I can bring Jesus to them in that way, then I hope to do that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Final question. What makes Marlboro Christian Church a great place to go?
The people, really. There's so much I could say about it. I love Marlboro Christian Church. They really just come as a community, and they love the people that enter the doors, and they always make it a place where you feel like you belong and that there's always something that we can do to help out. and just super duper welcoming. I came here 5 years ago with just knowing a different family and who is now my fiance.
Yeah.
And they just kind of loved me and have really helped pour into me in my faith walk as well. And
That's awesome.
the things that I've experienced. So
That's
I really
awesome.
love it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Marta.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you guys for watching. That was Alliance in Focus. I'm your host, David Thomas. Thank you.